I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome into Tech Talk. You got us on Double T 97.3, Double T 97.3.com. I assume we're saying hello to all of our non-baseball fans. Red Raider baseball just getting underway.
Well, there's probably people listening for it right now and then realizing we're here.
Let us direct you. Let us be traffic directors. You see our bright orange cones. We will point over to 100.7 the score. So we got a little mix-up, mash-up today. Bunch of sports going on, which is a good thing because it means you've got a lot of Red Raider activities to tune into. Of course, baseball taking on New Mexico. Over in New Mexico, first true road game of the year for Red Raider baseball. Again, that's getting underway over on 100.7 the score. Tonight, Red Raider basketball is on the road as well. They're in Stillwater. So Stilly, as they say. 7 o'clock tip. I don't know. They. Just a general they. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you said it, so you're obviously a part of the they. You would know more than I.
I don't know about that. Not with Stillwater.
Well, just saying Stilly. Again, 6 o'clock is when pregame coverage will come on for Red Raider basketball. We'll lead you all the way up to it. We are Tech Talk here in Double T 97.3, live from the First United Bank studio. You can call us on the Visual Edge IT hotline if you'd like. That number is 806-771-0973. Or you can hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Thoughts, comments, questions, reactions, all of that welcome there. Take us anywhere with the mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. We're also streaming live on Fox 34 News now and on YouTube. If you want to keep up with us on social media, see any of the behind-the-scenes things that we do, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just look up Double T 97.3. Clint Scott, Chois Woodman, and for Dr. Mike Gustafson, Ben Poorman behind the glass. Gentlemen, how are we today?
What's good, bro?
You look like you're having
I'm trying to figure it all out.
Technology issues.
Why can we just not put everything on ESPN Plus?
What do you like better, Flow TV or
oh my gosh.
Mountain West Network?
Well, so far Mountain West because I haven't had to pay for anything to try to find it.
But have you actually been able to watch anything on
at
the Mountain
home?
West Network?
Okay,
because
so
right now
on the Apple TV at home, can we go rip the Apple TV out of Josh's wall? He's got one in there.
Why don't we just do the show live from there? We do live on location from Josh's office, annoying him while he tries to work.
I'm fine with that, but this Fire Stick we have in here, for whatever reason, it says the Mountain West Network is not compatible with it. So
that feels pretty on brand for the Mountain West Network to not have something that's compatible. Because it's not like that's like an old one, right? It's not like
no. It's got the little
like this is a first generation Fire Stick, and unless you have like a 7th or whatever it is, it's like, oh, it's not going to work.
Yeah. So
Tabor Fast gets the start today for Red Raider baseball. Some wondering of who this would be as you kind of figure out the midweek mystery.
Wouldn't have been my guess. I would have guessed at.
Well, you didn't even think he was on the roster like a month ago.
I mixed up Tabor Fast and
I've been waiting for it. I've been sitting on it.
You have
been nesting it.
Who was it? Who did I mix him up with? Jamie Hitt. Oh,
yeah.
You know, the Fast Hit. It's all the same pretty well.
All baseball terms. There.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I actually would have anticipated Zane Petty since he got moved out of the weekend rotation, thinking, okay, maybe this is where you slot him. But I don't know. Maybe Zane Petty finds his way back into the starting rotation next weekend, and you hold him off for that. Either way, Tabor Fast is getting the start, and in a ballpark that has been extremely offensive for both teams the last few times.
And I haven't looked at like what the wind or anything is over there, but especially if you get the old windy day coming from behind you, that's like home run city over there.
Yeah, like
I don't think an approved nickname in Albuquerque, in but yeah,
more than what we have in Lubbock. So,
you like Albuquerque?
Generally speaking, no. I like the state of New Mexico, but Albuquerque itself, probably like my 34th favorite city in New Mexico.
Please give us the other 33. If you're going to give that specific of a number, you have to be ready to go 1 through 33.
Do I have to? Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we got 3 hours of pretend play-by-play here.
City. Number 1 is the quaint little village of Angel Fire.
Okay, that's a good one.
I like. Farmington, New Mexico, in western.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like Farmington. All right, it's not. It's somewhere between 1 and 34. So,
where's Capitan?
Oh,
it's gonna start throwing out Weed, New Mexico. How do we feel about?
I got
Weed, New
married
Mexico?
outside of Capitan, so that one's pretty high.
Oh, that's right. So
pretty high on there. I
do
do like
the
Ruidoso.
emotional.
Ruidoso's.
I'll be honest. Before today, I don't love Albuquerque. I've only been there twice. I don't love Albuquerque. I have no disdain for Albuquerque. I understand why someone would now that I have heard.
Interrupt this for a leadoff home run by Gavin Cash.
That's a pretty good start to his day. So
not bad.
There you go.
Took a hanger right over the center field wall. Hit it a long ways. It's one of those where the center fielder didn't move.
It's going to be
much,
this all day. We're just like in the middle of something.
Yes, we will stop mid-sentence to give you updates.
It's going to be like raccoons with shiny things.
Is anyone listening right now?
Yeah, we've got some. This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line from Sam. I feel like Tech has had more games on ESPN Plus compared to any other team in the Big 12.
Baseball? Or are we talking basketball? Because basketball, I think, is on there tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a 7 o'clock tip.
You've had quite a few. It's matchup based, I think, and it's all determined before the season. Mm-hmm. All of this is pre-season. I think Texas
Which is
Tech,
funny with that. Sorry, just like BYU, things like that and expectations, or Oklahoma, who turns out to be a pretty competitive team in the Big 12. The predestined, I wonder if they hold back on that a little bit. I understand there's certain things you have to schedule it at the start of the season and figure that out. But I wonder, because I mean in football, you don't know sometimes on your kicks when you're a week and a half out, 2 weeks out. I don't get why that can't also be shifted over to basketball.
I don't know why
that
they
seems like
set it up
something
that
you
way.
should be able to do.
It does seem that way, and I think the next round of contracts will probably go that way. Mm-hmm. But the way they do it for basketball currently, they guess at how good of a team you are. And they were guessing, based off of last year and what you put together on the roster, Tech wasn't going to be that good. That's why you've had a decent chunk of games on ESPN+.
Mm-hmm. It is Tech Talk here on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Don't go anywhere. Illegal play-by-play for Red Raider baseball when we come back. Allegedly. Just kidding. It's the Juice giving you some headlines for today. It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, yo, it's the Juice.
A little half-hearted. It is the Juice here on Tech Talk. You got us on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Thank you for joining us here on a Tuesday edition. Clint Scott, Chois, Woodman in for Dr. Mike Gustafson, Ben Porman behind the glass taking care of us. Of course, we have Red Raider baseball going on currently over in New Mexico. Still a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. A couple of runners on, 2 outs as of now, looking to add some more. We will keep you updated as this game goes along. Tabor Fast gets the start for the Red Raiders. Hopefully you don't see his first pitch until 20 minutes or so from now. But
be nice.
That'd be a lot of 2-out magic.
Yeah, runners at the corners. Davis Rivers is at the plate with 2 outs. Gavin Cash, of course, hit that leadoff home run. So trying to tack a few more on.
Of course, you're without Kevin Bizzell today going through the Texas series as well. Nothing major there, just some protocol things that they had to do, I believe, with they officially say an illness?
All I've seen is protocol. That's all I've seen.
Protocol. So
I mean, and people can draw lines or conclusions however they want to, but he's out. That's what we know.
I draw conclusions in crayon. Red Raider basketball will be at Oklahoma State tonight, 6 o'clock for pregame coverage, 7 o'clock tip, so we will lead you all the way up to it. The Red Raiders trying to win in Stillwater for the first time since they did it back in the 2018 season, so it has not been a great place to go, although on the other side of it, it is not a great Oklahoma State team this season. They are 4-12 in Big 12 play, but I don't think that you'll be overlooking them tonight.
No,
I'll say this: they have played much better, and that is a young, talented Oklahoma State team. And the biggest thing that we're all paying attention to, one is still don't know anything about Warren Washington yet, but they have really good pieces that are big for some of their young guys. It's like Javon Small scores a lot for them, and then they got size.
I think the problem Texas Tech faces, like most games in the Big 12, is you're expecting to be undersized and you have to fight to keep up with the rebounding. So, like you said, it's a group for Oklahoma State that will pose a challenge, but at the same time, there's a reason they're the 13th place team in the league, and you really need to go get this win and boost your RPI opportunity.
Yeah, if you were to lose, this would be a horrible, much like West Virginia would have been, a horrible net loss, which now that you've got your 9th conference win and you're just trying to add on top of it, you're also trying to climb as high as you can, or with this one, maintain your pace with whatever your seed ultimately is in the NCAA tournament. You're also trying to make sure you nail down that double bye in the Big 12 championship, which we've got a Big 12 tournament story for you later, as a lot of stuff was announced of things to come for both the men's and women's side that I am certainly excited to dive into, including this year's themed menu. If that's not Tech Talk territory, I don't know what is.
And a hint, they got rid of one of the staples.
The Wabash Cannon Dog?
Yes. I mean, what are we doing here, Big 12? I'm only kind of joking. 2 more runs tacked on by Tech. Travis Sanders got a RBI single, and then there was an error. So 3-0 Red Raiders, top 1.
Speaking of the Wabash Cannon Dog, 2 more games to be played in the Big 12 tonight along with you. 8 o'clock tip for the Sunflower Showdown Round 2, Kansas State at Kansas. And then another 7 o'clock tip, also on ESPN Plus tonight. Cincinnati is at Oklahoma, which, again, is just another very interesting game in the kind of mid-tier of the Big 12. Oklahoma let an opportunity slip by and really just had an incredible last-second shot as they hosted Houston, lose by 2. Cincinnati, they were a bubble team and have fallen away from that, but
I think
it looks like they've packed it in.
Yeah, I think OU has to win this game.
Oh, I totally agree.
To have a way into the tournament, and then it may go down to a game in Austin with OU and Texas. On the winner of that game goes to the NCAA tournament,
which or at least the loser going, I don't have to win the Big 12 tournament, but I certainly can't be a one and done in the Big 12 tournament.
Sure,
which is just incredibly interesting.
It is. If OU wins tonight, then I think winner of that game gets in. Not necessarily the other one.
Bid.
Yeah, not necessarily the loser out, but the winner gets in. So. Yeah, there's some definite implications for the games tonight and as well as this weekend.
Because it's going to test that 9 count from the Big 12 theory. Because there's a good chance, like if Oklahoma is that one, hey, are you going to give that Oklahoma team with a losing record in the Big 12 a spot that might be sitting at 8-10, or same thing with Texas, who fell last night to Baylor in another really good game.
Was it a good game? Because if you watch Longhorn Twitter, it was,
I enjoyed the result.
The refs that made it about. I mean, it was just the refs.
Hey, don't foul.
I know.
Or don't tackle someone, Brock.
Let's go, freshmen.
Good news for Lady Raider basketball. Here you go. Sophomores Bailey Maupin and Jasmine Shavers. I was going to stop at 1. They're both sophomores.
Yeah.
Bailey Maupin and Jasmine Shavers were honored with all Big 12 honorable mention accolades as announced by the conference office. earlier this afternoon, Shavers earned her first Big 12 award of her career after claiming the spot on the all Big 12 honorable mention team. Maupin, this is the second time she's gotten an award. She was all Big 12 freshman last year in the 2022 season. Obviously, just a rough back nine slide for them. Mm-hmm. Injuries abound. Offense not good. I understand every single time we bring up Lady Raider basketball, we are going to get the Gerlich question. But this is well-deserved for both of them, who were, I would say, at least bright spots for them.
Yeah.
Several double-digit points. And, I mean, if you don't have them, as bad as some of the results were in the back half of Big 12 play, could have been a lot worse. They'll be against Houston starting the Big 12 championship Thursday, 5 o'clock start time, 107.7 ESFM, and 100.7 the score.
TJ Pompey singles to center, drives in two when the base is loaded. So Red Raiders have batted around in the first inning. Gavin Cash up with a 5-0 lead.
Chois Texas Tech men's indoor track and field pre-championship appearance in Boston has found their bulletin board material.
Boston, that they're not the number one team.
Yeah, they're not the number one team. They'll go into it ranked second, Arkansas. Arkansas takes the overall spot, not Northern Arizona like it was a little bit ago.
Yeah, what's going on? Northern Arizona's
They
third.
are third. Tech is second. The women's team will enter ranked 8th.
Whoa, look, they got a pet store. I'm going to be so distracted. You're going to have to bear with me. They got a pet store going. I get what you did,
pet store, animal choke.
Yeah.
Bear with you.
They got the Clark's Pets is one of the advertisers for the New Mexico broadcast, so.
And last headline that we will dive into a little bit later as well. One, Arch Manning has opted out of the EA Sports video game to focus field playing on the field.
Is that Nick Saban as an eye doctor?
That kind of does. That's like Nick Saban's brother.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Saban's brother.
Mick Saban, optometrist.
How long till you're super annoyed by me? Kidding.
What time did you get here today?
Extremely distracted by the baseball broadcast.
Oh, his name was Steve Stucker. That's a made-up name.
Steve Stucker.
Call Steve Stucker today.
No, that's totally Nick Saban's brother that doesn't want to ride his brother's coattails.
It's a fake name.
Yeah, so I'm not
People
Saban,
only went
I'm
to him
Stucker.
as an eye doctor because he was Nick Saban's brother, not because he was good at fixing eyes.
Steve Saban.
That's hilarious.
I do want to talk about the Arch Manning stuff.
Okay, it's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk here on Double T 97.3 and Double T973.com. Thank you for joining us on a Tuesday edition. Clint Scott, Chois, Woodman, Ben Porman behind the glass taking care of us. If you are just tuning in looking for Red Raider baseball and you are angry and punching your radio, it is on. It's over on 100.7 the score. Chois' Tech baseball being televised, or just 100.7 the score. You can also find it on the Mountain West Network if you would like to see the lovable, allegedly. We'll use that word again.
Yeah, if you can hunt it down. We've kind of found it.
I mean, we found it. What do you mean kind of? It's on.
Well, it's hard to access. It took us about literally 10 or 15 minutes to get it rolling on the
I'm going to go user error.
TV.
Troy, if you're looking for it, I think you can find it faster than you did. You were setting the bar really low for other people to feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'll put it this way. If Chuck was trying to find it, there would be no chance he would get it. So if you feel like you're at Chuck's level
it is
of
baseball.
Of technology,
Just kidding.
They have already gone to a new pitcher for New Mexico.
Yeah.
Who has pitched 0.1 innings on the year.
This is a New Mexico team that, you've had some, obviously, history with because it's a regional team that you've played a lot. And You've seen some games where things haven't exactly gone your way, but this is a New Mexico team that was picked to finish second to last in their conference.
Yeah.
But that's also, I'm just learning the Mountain West has 7 teams that play baseball. So shows you my knowledge of Mountain West baseball. And they were tied
I
for
would not
fifth.
have known that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it seemed odd.
I do think that New Mexico has way too big of logos on their hats. It's like taking up the whole hat.
So here's a question that probably nobody except for myself cares about right now.
Oh.
And care seems strong even from me. So you already have a small conference for baseball, right? You have the obliteration, the destruction of the Pac-12. We know Oregon State and Washington State has a scheduling alliance. Love the word alliance in sports. Like the past 3 years is the most I've heard the word alliance, other than the Office episode, which is all I think of.
I think Star Wars Episode 1 had it quite a bit.
Okay. Still, Washington State baseball, Oregon State baseball, and I'm really looking at Oregon State. Although Washington State had a pretty good start to the year. What are they doing?
Didn't they?
I haven't heard this.
I'm pretty sure Oregon State said they're going independent next year for baseball.
Independent. Do you know what that means? Really?
I'm pretty sure. I think
I believe you.
I'm pretty sure Mike Gustafson was sitting next to you and he told you this because I think I learned it from the show initially. But what
was I doing? Was I asleep?
There's a good chance of it. I think we got another double. No, turn that into a triple, Austin Green.
Wheels.
He did.
I enjoyed your what's been the most shocking thing
from the
season so far in Austin Green's wheels.
He's got speed. We didn't see it at all last year because he was hurt with a leg injury.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you're saying that, I think that is that's correct. This on the chat line from Shelly. Ever been to the village of Madrid, New Mexico? It's awesome, but don't go on a biker's weekend. They smashed my car because of Texas license plates.
Oh, come on. You didn't have Wyoming license plates, Shelly?
People suck. This on the chat line. How does Clint know where Weed, New Mexico is? So, Pine Springs Summer Camp. It's actually how I know that. Was a counselor there and then went there for a week as well as an intern one summer. So, the cafe there that I'm assuming is still open, hoping, wishful thinking, phenomenal. Great breakfast at the cafe in Weed, New Mexico. This on the chat line from Shelly. Conclusions in Crayon, fellow American album name. That's a good one. Shelly also said, I bet Jamie is ready to start packing up and heading to the car already.
I bet so. I wonder if they have the run rule on today. It's already 6-0. Tech scored again, by the way, on a RBI single. And then Owen Washburn, almost.
Warning track.
Warning track power. You know what they say about warning track power? Nothing. I got that one a lot in high school. No kidding. Anytime I would hit one to the warning track, I had one home run ever, like the whole time.
I've never heard that. That's fantastic.
And that's what I'd get from the buddies in the dugout. Hey, you know what they say about warning track power? Nothing. So, Oregon State, yes, will play independent schedule in 2025.
That doesn't answer Washington State.
I don't know. I think Washington State may be.
Like by default, it's like, well, I guess we're going to have to as well.
I don't think they are. No, I think they're going Mountain West.
Huh. So there you go.
Look at that.
Eighth team. This on the chat line. In Yellowstone, Costner says if it has alliance in its name, cancel it.
Okay.
So obviously, I had all these baseball questions for you today, and they're not getting hit out of the window right now, but we're getting close. But you were clearly focused, at least you have been so far, through an inning and not even a half. But you got Texas coming up, and you've got two teams that I think are saying similar things, right? Because you've been wondering, okay, you're going to have your pitching figured out. You're going to have your weekend rotation. What about the lineup? Like, is everything set there with Texas coming around the other side? And you're suddenly not going, boy, Texas is not as talented as we thought after their weekend, in which did not go their way at all. Really got hit around this weekend against two really, really good teams and then a respectable team in Texas State. What are you expecting out of this weekend?
It's hard to know what to expect because of level of competition for both teams. Tech's best competition was obviously in week 1, and you did fine. I mean, you went 3-2. Honestly, you went 2-2 against decent teams. I mean, I'm not going to put UT Arlington into anything yet. So 2-2 against decent teams, 2-2 against Power 5 teams. Texas didn't play anybody up until this past weekend, in which they go 0-3 against the better competition. Obviously, 2 of those highly ranked, and then lose to Texas State. So
I think the Vanderbilt one is still the most head-scratching.
Yeah, you were up 11-3 and blow that one, losing 14-11.
Because if you're part of their fan base, and she's the only one that's thinking this way, right? Sitting there going, oh, okay, we'll get one, and this was a good one to get.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, it just kept flowing and flowing and flowing. Oh, and you wake up and you lose.
So I'm not certain what to expect going into this weekend. I honestly I would expect, I guess, since it's at home, Tech would win 2 out of 3. I wouldn't be shocked by a sweep. I wouldn't be shocked if Tech loses a series.
Yeah.
It's one of those because Texas has
Would
great
you be
pitching
shocked
every year.
if you were swept?
I think
depending on how it looked?
I think a sweep on either side would be somewhat surprising, but shocked, no. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's the first test, real test for both teams.
7-0 as you head to the bottom of the second inning over in Albuquerque. We'll keep you updated as we go. It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk here on Double T 97.3, Double T97.3.com. Thank you for joining us. We're live from the First United Bank studio. Clint Scott, Chois Woodman, Ben Porman behind the glass, taking care of us. 2 on, 2 out, over on 100.7 the score in Albuquerque.
Oh, he faked it. He faked it. You don't even know what I'm talking about. He acted like he hit it off his foot when he knew it was going to be a ground out. Oh, and then
he faked it.
I'm telling you, it didn't touch his foot, but we can't see because the stupid coach's head is in the way.
I don't think he faked it as he was rolling over. But 7-5,
fake
over in the bottom of the third. You were on pace for a predicted from you very long afternoon.
4-hour game.
Yeah. So there you go.
Like basically at the time that this game is finishing, the Tech men's basketball game will be starting. Again,
if you're just tuning in to us and wondering where Red Raider baseball is, as I choke up about that. It's over on 100.7 the score. Red Raider basketball, 6 o'clock start here for pregame on Double T 97.3. Ben, would you please give us your play of the day?
Boy, he could have pulled the trigger, and he does it now.
Got it! Raindrops! Left wing 3, Joe Toussaint! He's like, I'm just being patient. 2-point lead.
You're hoping for a continued, another good performance tonight. This is the second time you'll see Oklahoma State Choice. If you go back to the first time you saw them, that was way back the second conference game of the year, first conference home game that you won 90-73. And if you remember in the first half, Oklahoma State, they had a lead for a little bit, and you had one of those, I would say, telling signs of how you were going to play games in the Big 12, and it was another case of fall behind, not by just a whole bunch, but trying to find some momentum. You do, and you end up putting it on them, especially in the second half. I asked you this going into the break. What are you expecting tonight? Let's start with from Oklahoma State, because they only have 4 conference wins, but they're young and they do have talent. And more importantly, especially if Warren Washington's out again, they have size Inconsistent size, and that's where most of the youth is, but they have big bodies that are talented and have done some nice things in the Big 12 this season.
I think Oklahoma State is a better team than they were early in the season.
Sure.
That being said, it's a road game in the Big 12, so you can't count any sort of chickens here. But Texas Tech, even beat up the way they are, is still the better team. And the Vegas line, I believe, is exactly the same as it was going into Morgantown this past weekend. It's Tech minus 2.5. So Vegas is anticipating a similar type of effort from Texas Tech, a scratch and claw, win a close game type of effort, and I think that's what it's going to take. I would love it if Tech decides, not to. Son of a gun.
Don't look directly at it.
New Mexico just tied it. Tech was up 7-0 after 2 innings. New Mexico just tied it 7-7 in the bottom of the third. Every freaking game, every one that we go to Albuquerque. Why do we keep going there, Coach Tadlock? I do want to ask him that. Anyway.
You see how many regionals they have on the wall out there?
Yeah, at least 8 of them in their history. So, back to basketball. Sorry, this game's ticking me off.
You're like a cat with a laser.
This laser is making me mad. Back to basketball. I do think you're going to get effort. That's one thing we haven't really been able to question. I think there's like 3/4 of one game, for whatever reason, the Texas game felt like you were dead flat.
It's like until the Brock Cunningham play, and then all of a sudden everybody was firing on all cylinders.
Which, what did he do again last night? Good grief. Did you see it?
It's just because, they're
come
looking
on,
for
Fran.
him.
I mean, Fran, I would say 75% of the time I like Fran, but good grief, man. Oh, it's just because he's No, it's because he lowered his shoulder again into someone's chest. That's why he got a flagrant, and he had already fouled out of the game. But oh my gosh, Brock Cunningham.
The reputation thing is so funny because he's not Draymond Green. He's not the only one saying that. But yes, there is a reputation because it keeps doing those things. That's why I said you should have been suspended from as bad as the Tech one was.
Easily.
And I know
should have got a game.
Probably going to get, it was happened, 6 days ago, drop it. This is why.
No, this is why
there were so many
again.
people were upset by it because there are no major repercussions. Even then, I mean, was he going to make a dent in that game? What did he have? 3 points and an assist?
Maybe.
And then did the same exact thing and then got kicked out of the game because he wasn't going to be a factor in it. I'm just saying that is exactly why. So there you go.
Sorry, I did
not. And yes, there
is
a reputation, but that's not why the call was made. You have a reputation because you keep doing crap like this.
I didn't mean to get us off there. Anyway, I think you're going to get a competitive basketball game tonight. That being said, I expect a win. I expect a win. It's a road game in the Big 12, so expecting a win is a lot. No matter where you play, we've seen teams fall at Oklahoma State this year a couple times. We've seen teams fall in Morgantown this year. Good teams, I should put that in front on both.
I mean, like BYU. That was a threatening loss about, 3 weeks ago when they went there. And then Oklahoma State followed that up with a road win over Cincinnati. And so that they have the capability to win. It's just one of those, yes, they have the capability to do it, but especially at this point as you're trying to – especially if you would have lost against West Virginia, if you would have been going into Oklahoma State with a 3-game losing streak – you would have especially been doubling down on this statement. But for the net reasonings, this is a team that you need to go take care of because it started out with, Gus and I had this conversation several times when they were still trying to find a win early in the Big 12. You were going, okay, you don't want to be the first one that loses to them because of their body of work outside of the conference. Was not going to be a team that you needed to drop a game against anybody in the Big 12 that had NCAA tournament aspirations. And that was true when you faced them as the second game in the conference, second to last game in the conference, just as true. And right now, yes, you are in, but this is more to do with, hey, how the question we had yesterday when we were talking, how good of a seed can you get? How low of a seed can you get? Losing to Oklahoma State, just throw that conversation out of the window, because that's going to drop you down, and you're going to find way, way, way closer to the floor in that conversation than the ceiling.
Probably an 8 or 9 seed if you lose this game. Now, if you lose this game and then go win against Baylor, it may be a wash. Might be a wash, because Baylor's the 13 team. Right now, Texas Tech's 42 in the net. Not a great number. Not a great one. But your overall body of work is fairly good. Oklahoma State is 116. 116 in the net. You lose this game, you're going to drop somewhere between 15 and 20 spots in the net rankings.
And again, a chance to make up for it with Baylor and then the Big 12 tournament. But I do wonder, you and I think are of the same opinion, that I'm less worried of what you can, as of now, as it stands right now, I'm less worried of what you can do in the Big 12 tournament, more of you want that double bye just for extra rest.
That's exactly right, yeah.
I'm not saying if you have success, I'm going to be here pouting, I didn't want you to play games or anything like that. But if you were to fall against Oklahoma State, I think my opinion might change, because it would sure be nice to get a couple more relevant wins and, good net wins in the tournament to kind of make up for that.
Yeah, I think so, but got to win tonight. I think it's as simple as that.
And it's not going to be like a hostile environment road game. It's going to be a BYOE.
And that's been it for a while lately. When you go up there, you got to figure it out. Got to win one.
It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3. Back with more next.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk here on Double T 97.3, DoubleT973.com. Thanks for joining us. Red Raider baseball going on over on 100.7 The Score. We have a 7-all ball game in Albuquerque, and now third pitcher for the Red Raiders has just taken the mound. I say just, he has got 2 outs since we were gone. But Zane Petty has been found on the mound. Choice.
That is
surprising to you?
No. I thought there was a chance they could hold him for the weekend, and he still could throw 30, 35 pitches right now and then be available for a relief appearance on the weekend. But this does eliminate any chance of him starting one of the 3 games against Texas. I was surprised that he wasn't the starter today to begin with, but not surprised at all that he's getting some work. Hopefully it's good work, because this is a ball
need
game.
it.
Yeah.
Needs some more of that early game offense too. Clint Scott, Chois Woodman, Ben Porman behind the glass. Red Raider basketball coming up tonight at 6. 7 o'clock tip is there at Oklahoma State. Choice, there was an announcement today, a reveal if you want to call it that, a list of things told by the Big 12.
All right.
And this is exciting because specifically it's for the Big 12 championship. I was going to go menu first, but this will work. We'll start here.
Oh.
The WWE partnership continues. You remember this from football?
Yeah, I do.
Do you like it?
I didn't actually see what. I just saw the
Really?
headline.
Because all it was, you had like the WWE logo all over the football field there
That's
in
all
Arlington.
it was,
and then you had the Undertaker give the MVP award, which I don't know what this will be this year, but that essentially will be the same. It will be for the both men's and women's championship. I'm wondering if they just use the Undertaker again, or what they do. They pick someone else.
Hulk Hogan for sure. I don't know.
They have to say yes too.
Who's they?
The person that
No, keep them against their own will.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't care. I know there's I'm going to offend some wrestling fans here, but it doesn't bother me either way. Like, good for the Big 12 if it brings anybody else in. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't think not really. It's not making anybody watch it.
It's not Taylor Swift,
right?
Yeah.
So it's because there's a few things here. So I'm going to start from top to bottom, okay? First thing, Shaquille O'Neal, a.k.a. DJ Diesel. He'll return to the Big 12 championship as a performer. He'll do a 45-minute set following the men's championship game. So,
okay,
DJ winners Diesel can just go on and celebrate with DJ Diesel. You will also have the WWE times Big 12 championship title belt that'll be presented to the most outstanding player for both the men's and the women's championship.
Okay.
You also this one is I like this one. Sarcastically, the Big 12 is teaming up with Planet Comic-Con,
yes,
Kansas City, one of the nation's largest and longest-running comic book and pop culture events held annually at the Kansas City Convention Center. This partnership will see Planet Comic-Con KC and the Big 12 engage in cross-promotion marketing with cosplay characters visiting the Women's Championship on March 8th.
You don't have to say sarcastically when you actually mean that you're excited for this.
No, What? Okay, so I have a question first. I have several questions.
Yes.
One, why is this just on the women's side?
I don't know. Well, because you can't put it all on the men's side, so you got to divvy it up.
But why they divvied up the WWE? Why aren't you divvying up the Comic-Con side? Why can't you see Groot? I don't know why that's where I went first. I went Marvel at both. Also, your WWE poll question, what is this adding? Is what I'm asking from the Comic-Con side.
I don't know.
What?
I honestly don't know
any of it. I'm not doubting Brett Yormark's math at this point because...
Oh, I think he's going to swing and miss at stuff. I do.
Sure.
Everybody does.
But with these, I guess on one hand, the same thing with the WWE edition, it's not going to make anybody not watch that was, it's like, oh, I'm not going to Kansas City anymore. Or I'm not tuning in because they're affiliated with Comic-Con.
Right, you are. Okay, now get to the food because that's what
all right, this is really what's important. You have seen the Big 12 eats. I'm going to run through these. You tell me what sounds the best. There's only 3 or 4 from last year that they kept the same thing. Baylor's brisket sliders. This is Dr. Pepper glazed brisket, sweet slaw brioche bun.
In.
Cosmos churros. This is for BYU. Caramel filled churros, sweet cream drizzle, mini marshmallows, cinnamon sugar, and toffee crumble.
Okay, bad mistake here to not just go with the what do we call it up there?
The cougar tail.
The cougar tail.
Yeah.
You could just totally blatantly
I
rip
wonder
it.
if they couldn't, though. I wonder if that's
because of some sort of trademark, maybe. But they still should have found a version of the cougar tail. Just makes sense.
But would you try this, though? Because
Yes.
I would try this. This
Yes.
sounds delicious. The UCF Citronaut drink, which is orange soda and vanilla ice cream.
Absolutely.
Last year's, this was Baylor's, except it was Dr. Pepper and ice cream. It's an orange float.
Yeah, all the way in on this. It's an orange sickle.
Because these are supposed to be relative. Oh, yeah, that reminds me of UCF. I don't know where this comes from, if they have some sort of orange soda as their favorite drink or whatever. But I'm in.
It's fine with me.
How about the Cincy Cheese Coney, jumbo hot dog, Cincinnati-style chili, onion plus cheddar cheese?
Fits, so in would try.
For Houston, we have Shasta's brisket tacos, chopped beef brisket, corn and black bean salsa, cilantro, lime, and corn tortillas.
Generally don't do the Mexican food north of Texas, but if Houston was actually bringing it, probably in. Mm-hmm. It sounds good. I think execution won't be as good in Kansas City.
Iowa State has a green chili pork walking taco. This is Doritos, green chili pork, shredded lettuce, cheddar, and jack cheese, and sour cream.
Same rule. There's almost nothing on this list I won't try. That one's lower on the list,
though. Big J's loaded mac and cheese. This is one that I think is fairly similar. This might be exactly the same as last year for Kansas. It's loaded mac and cheese with barbecue.
No, say the pasta name.
Big J's loaded mac and cheese with cavatappi pasta. Cavatappi. Creamy cheese sauce.
Sure, I'll try it.
Pulled pork. One of the ones that they changed that we were joking at earlier, they had the Wabash Cannon Dog, which was the worst looking thing ever last year. It looked like Grimace had an accident on a terribly boiled hot dog.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be wrapped in bacon, yet the bacon also looked like it wasn't cooked.
Sure.
They have gone to the Power Cat PB&J, which is a fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
In. I'm in on almost anything fried, so.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.